Daryl, we'll get on to the game in a couple of minutes or so, but first let's just take a quick look at your squad. You've brought in a few new faces over the last sort of couple of weeks, month or so. Just talk us through the reasoning behind that and how they came about.
The reasoning behind it, to start with, probably the fact that the Conference South and Conference North stopped. So I sat down and spoke at length with John Still about some of the players that he'd seen while he was at Mayton, etc. as well, and we were talking about us giving Dagenham the sort of, not going back in time, but what Dagenham's been known for, producing players and having players come to the club and make the name while they're here. So we looked at the best players in the South and North that we could get hold of, and Saidu come up, Smith come up. We already had Mo Sagaf in the building we wanted to give minutes to, and we kind of tried to get them players as quickly as we could to give them a platform to play.
As well as some new signs, we've already got some very exciting young players on board, the likes of George Saunders. How important is it for you as a manager and on how they're managed going forward and protecting their sort of careers?
It's huge, really, especially for George. I think George has had a difficult season through no fault of his own, to be honest. I think he's come out of part-time football. He's never been a full-time player. George has been off 4 times, including the 2 times of us this season with COVID. So that's 40 days training and games he's missed. He's also had 2 muscle injuries, just from coming from part-time football or potentially come from the break in training. He's a super talented player that we've got huge faith in, and we think he'll be a top player for us. But it's about development as well for these young players. You can't expect them to walk on water from the first day they walk in. Sometimes it takes time, and in their journeys there's all sorts of different peaks and troughs in it, and we have to help them through that. George will come through it the same as Smith will. Smith's obviously injured at the minute. Same way Sadie will, Mo Sagaf. These young players will write. You're on a different journey from some other players. We've got to help them through it.
Of course, your priority at the moment is finishing this season strong, but you must have an eye on next season and building that squad for next year. Definitely.
Like I said, we've looked at players that we feel that we can help take us forward as well. I think we'd like to have a bit more of a blend of a younger element to our team, more energy, and to be brutally honest, a bit more hunger, I think, was needed in the squad. And the squad probably at the minute is bigger than we would normally have for this stage of the season, of course. But that's mainly down to the fact that the Conference North and South as well have stopped. So we've got nowhere to send people on loan to, and even in our division now, really, with the fact that there is no relegation in it. Whereas some teams below us on the table would normally take players on loan or sign new players, they're not, because they don't need to, because it's not really going to affect them going forward. So it just meant that now we've probably got 2 or 3 more bodies sitting around that won't play as much football as they want to, and there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, obviously you've mentioned the Conference South becoming null and void. What does that mean for James Dobson? Is there an update on how he's been doing?
I think with Dobbo, because he signed a season long loan with Ebbsfleet, even if we wanted to use him or wanted to play him, we wouldn't be able to, because contractually he's still with Ebbsfleet.
And we'll get on to the game. Now we face Hartlepool, that regardless of league position or anything like that, Hartlepool's always going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah, I think they're excellent. I'll be honest, I think watching some of the football they play, they've probably been the best footballing team in the league that I've seen. I've managed against Charlie quite a few times. We both come into this league at the same time. Him with Fald and me with Ebbsfleet, and he's someone that I've gotten really well with. And I think he's doing a great job there, and they've got some terrific players, and I think it's a really, really tough game. I would say, looking at us, it's be the toughest game we've had for a while, but we go into it in decent form ourselves.
So the win on Saturday, that must give you a confidence boost heading into this one.
Yeah, I think, listen, we're looking forward to all the games now. I think, and I've said this a million times now, over the last little period we're playing some good stuff, and we're doing okay, and we're bubbling along nicely, and we've got, like we said, now we've had them players come in, Sagafs, we were right, Saidu, Robbo, who we've lost, but people have given us real energy and bite in the team, and we have to stay where we are now and move forward.
And just finally, we know we've had issues with injuries. Just give us an update on how we're looking heading into tomorrow.
From tomorrow, we'll have 2 players back from COVID, hopefully. In terms of the injury front, we've still got Saunders out, Robinson out, Phipps out. 1 player still with COVID out, it won't be available. Obviously Clifton's gone away on international duty as well, so he'll be out. All of the players should be available.